Welcome back to Steel and Vance. Is there anything better than the love of your four-legged friends? Look at this puppy and the baby. And now they're one and the same when it comes to BC law.
Well, because there's been an issue. When you get divorced, you both love the family pet. Who gets to keep the pet? That's been an issue. You dealt with that once, didn't you?
I did. I actually said the kid and the dog stay. You can take anything else you want.
And you got the dog and the kid.
I did.
There you go. You won.
I share the kid. Just to be clear, I share. No.
Things have changed.
But it's a thing.
We should put up this headline because BC has done something, the first in Canada, to change the family law that aims to deal with pet custody, not treating an animal like
property.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a beloved part of the family. Who gets it? So let's bring
back
in our favorite animal law lawyer, Rebeka Breder from Breder Law. Thank you for coming in.
Hi.
All tanned up from vacation and everything.
Thanks so much for having me back.
Walk us through what changed.
Yes, this is so exciting. So it's the first legislation of its kind in Canada under the family law area. Mm-hmm. So when a couple separates either as a common law or as a married couple, the court now has, the Supreme Court in British Columbia has the power now to decide who gets the animal. And I advocated for this for so long.
Good for you.
And it was like sweat and tears. And I made submissions to government when they were looking at making changes to the law. And there were three things I wanted.
Okay.
One was for the best interest of the animal to be considered. Two is that shared custody be allowed, because very often, yeah, true, the couple doesn't want to have anything to do with each other, but just like kids, you know, when a couple separates, you don't want to have anything to do with your ex, but you have kids.
Right.
So
you can't be good to each other.
You can't.
For the sake of your child or your pet.
Exactly. And shared custody is sometimes really in the best interest of the animal. And so I asked for that. And the third submission I made was that small claims should have the power to deal with these issues as well, not just the Supreme Court. Because in my own cases, I usually take these in small claims. And it's faster, it's less expensive. But so fast forward.
Can I stop you? What do you mean by small claims? Why would it be a small claims issue?
Yes, so small claims versus Supreme Court, there's so many layers to it, but in a nutshell, Supreme Court tends to take a lot longer. Forever. I mean, small claims isn't, overnight,
Right.
but there are many more steps you need to take
Right.
at the Supreme Court level, which means more time, which means more money and legal fees. Small claims, fewer things to do, less time, less expensive.
So for someone watching right now going, I love my dog, I bought the dog, my partner's only been a part of my life for X number, just long enough to be common law, it's my dog, and the partner's like, yeah, I'm taking the dog. What do you need to know coming into a call with you? If somebody's watching right now and going, I need to call Rebeka, what do they need to know?
Well, I'm going to give you the classic lawyer answer, which is it depends. It really does. I wish I could tell you that there's A, B, and C that you need, and it's a slam dunk case, but it's not.
Okay.
Even with this new law, now the difference between now and before is that now there's actually a piece of legislation at the Supreme Court level that talks about what a court should look at. And one of those things, which I'm happy to say is the legislation reflects some of my submissions, is the best interest. So a court has to consider what is in the best interest of the dog or cat or the companion animal.
So that's like who's with the animal most, or who does the walking and the feeding and the
bonding.
The bonding.
Right. The bonding.
Okay.
Is there
How do
any
you prove
evidence?
Those things?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
It's hard. Very often it's a he said, she said type of thing. Who bonded with the animal? Is there any evidence of not just allegations, but is there any evidence of abuse, of neglect, so things like that. And so it's not just about who bought the dog,
right,
or cat.
Or who came
rabbit.
into the relationship with the dog,
right,
or cat, or rabbit.
Right. The one thing though that I want to clarify is because I've heard a lot of talk about how animals are no longer considered property in BC. Sadly, that's not true. Companion animals, even in this context, they're technically still property. I mean, you read the Family Law Act, the way even the court decides who gets a dog or cat, it falls under the property division.
Okay.
So animals are still considered property. However, we could see that things are moving forward because the fact that a court can now consider what is in the best interest of an animal tells me certainly, after being in this field for like 30 years advocating for animals, is that the legal system is starting to treat animals differently. Technically still property, but we have to be looking at their best interest
Property
as well.
with feelings.
Yeah, property with feelings, exactly. So I said how I wanted three things. One, best interest, so got that. The second one was small claims, got that. So small claims has a power to deal with these issues as well, and that's really important because I think that if a couple is only fighting about who gets the companion animal, I really do believe that small claims is the way to go.
Right.
It's faster, like I said, faster, less expensive. So that's a go. What sadly the government didn't include, which I was advocating for, is shared custody at the Supreme Court level. So, and there's something specific in the law that says a Supreme Court cannot issue a shared custody order. So that really disappointed me because I see in my own cases how very often it is in the best interest of the animal to have shared custody. But one step at a time. It's still a step in the right direction.
Maybe we'll get
right.
going there.
Yeah.
This is so great, and it's so awesome to see you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you
We
so
need to
much.
make
all
her.
you do.
We need to get her in every couple of months or
Yeah,
so.
let's do that.
Thank
We'll
you
make it
so
a
much.
thing.
Breder, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, coming up next, gritty, burning, teary. These are all symptoms of dry eye syndrome. So many people suffer from it, 30% of Canadians, and this is a problem made worse by way too much screen time. We're going to get some expert advice when we come back.
Yeah, we're not even just talking about kids and screen time. You know you're using your screens. How about your viewing party? Use them for taking photos like Kelly, Ted, and Bandit and Courtney. Hi, guys.
We also have Linda in New Westminster. Hi, Linda. Good name.
And Lorna in Tawasin. I see what you did there. Oh, look at Lorna. I love this.
And Maria and Monica in Surrey. Thanks to everyone for watching.
Hello, ladies. And if you want to get in on the fun, viewing party at checkmedia.ca will show you the winner at the end of the show.